Okay, so this one's kind of funny. When I saw this tweet made at 7 a.m. in the morning, I was actually up at 7. Had to take a little bit of a nap after publishing that Columbus Blue Jackets video. It's why I'm making this video here at 3 p.m. When I saw this tweet come out, I was like, okay, cool. Carter Hart is getting the most expensive second contract in NHL goaltending history. He's probably going to get himself an AAV of about $4.479 million or whatever it is? There is indeed a follow-up tweet. The Hart stat is accurate of a recent term, but not in history. Lundqvist got whatever in 2007. Bobrovsky got 5.625. So this tweet was a little bit misleading, but you know what? It is what it is. Carter Hart, we all know how good Carter Hart was for certain parts of his career, especially in the NHL. It's just that the most recent few years he has had, or at least the most recent year, period, was kind of rough for him. An 8.77 in 27 games played, a 3.67 goals against average in 2021. He had a losing record in this year's worth of play, and it was by far as well. He was fantastic the year before that, though, 9.14 in 43 games played in 2019-20 with a 2.42 GAA in that season, and he was an absolute monster in the postseason, a 9.26 save percentage in 14 games played. Part of the reason why they were able to just absolutely storm by the Montreal Canadiens in the first official round of the Stanley Cup playoffs of the bubble. But I thought it was interesting to see Carter Hart get one of the most expensive contracts for a goaltender in history, or at least the most expensive second contracts. And you know what? Saravalli, good on him for going out there and actually correcting himself with the next follow-up tweet there. Accurate of a recent term, but not in history. Lundqvist got 4.25, yada, yada, yada. Well, Carter Hart, he held the record for the most expensive second goalie contract in recent memory for about 2 hours. Because you give it a little bit, and Igor Shesterkin goes out there and gets himself a $5.65 AAV million deal. There you go, Frank. That's a little bit more expensive than the $5.625 contract that Bobrovsky got back in 2013. Igor Shesterkin at 5.65 for 4 years at an AAV is the most money ever handed out in AAV and in total dollars to an NHL goaltender on his second contract in NHL history. And when it comes to Igor Shesterkin, a guy who has come over here, if there's a guy to hold this record, I think this is your guy. Why? Because he's already 25 years old. He's been a prospect for so long, and he was drafted back in 2014 in the 4th round. He played so well in the KHL, not even just in the KHL, but in the World Championships. He also played internationally. He was just an absolute Russian machine. Going out there, being one of the best goalies in the entire Russian Hockey League. He had a 24-4 record in his last year in the KHL, 9.53 save percentage, and a 28-game play, 1.11 GAA. He was so good, and that success translated immediately when he went over to the NHL. Guess what? They played him in Hartford in 2019-20 to kick off that year. He had a 9.34 save percentage. No big deal in the slightest for this 24-year-old goaltender. He started out in New York as well, was kind of filling in the gaps between Lundqvist and Georgiev, was fantastic over there, a 10-2-0 record and a 9.32 save percentage in 12 games played. This season, though, hey, he carried the load. 35 games played, he was named the number 1 guy, pretty much. I mean, it's technically a 1A, 1B scenario in New York, but come on, Shesterkin was the guy. He had a 16-14-3 record, a 9.16 save percentage, and a 2.62 goals against average, and now he is making, what? $5.65 million a season for the next 4 years. If Shesterkin goes out there and he continues putting up godlike numbers, like what he had this 9.32 here in his first year in the NHL, if he can do this consistently, which I have no doubts in my mind, that capacity is possible for Shesterkin, this could be one of the most beneficial contracts for a goaltender that has been signed in recent memory. Imagine getting a guy who could put up a consistent 9.25 plus at $5.65 million a year. We had another Rangers rumor coming out earlier today talking about Mika Zibanejad and Jack Eichel. I'm not going to talk about that here today. We might talk about that soon. But If the Rangers can really lock down and get themselves a number one center this offseason, then hey, you got the wingers, you got the defense, you got Igor Shesterkin in net. This window of 4 years could be seen as an absolute game changer for the New York Rangers. Because if Igor Shesterkin comes over, he plays the way we all think he could play in the next 4 years, there's no telling how much he could get on his next contract. If that aforementioned Sergei Bobrovsky, who went out there and got himself $5.65 million on a 2013 contract, went out there, absolutely destroyed the goaltending market soon with the Florida Panthers. Igor Shesterkin, I mean, he could be good enough to go ahead and break that. So for Carter Hart going out there and getting himself a really expensive contract, good on you for holding the record for the most recent contract that is super big for a second-year goaltender. But yeah, Igor Shesterkin went out there and broke it the next few hours. So talk to me in the comments what you think about Carter Hart, Igor Shesterkin, these two going out here getting expensive goaltending contracts, Shesterkin being the most expensive out of an NHL goaltender on their second contract in the history of the sport. Talk to me in the comments what you think. If you enjoyed this video, Trolls 99, and bye.